What's going on, guys? Matt here on my Premier League predictions for the upcoming season, which actually starts today with Arsenal versus Leicester. You had to get this video at some point because if we start and the Premier League's going to start, what's the point really? It's really quite late. But the transfer window hasn't ended yet, so predictions may be a bit faulty as there might be some big transfers coming which will really influence and impact a team's season. So last year, I did absolutely dreadful with West Ham, but I predicted West Ham quite high again. So get ready for this because I'm confident West Ham this year. In the bottom three, I've gone with two of the promoted teams, but bottom in 20th place, I've gone with Huddersfield. I feel like David Wagner's sides is just coming up with a lot of it's a bit of shaky spells, and there's a lot of transfers they brought in. Will they all fit in to the brand new side? I'm just trying to check if my lighting's alright. Will they fit into the Premier League? Will they all sync together? And I just don't feel like they've got what it takes to actually stay in the Premier League this year. So that's why I've got 20th. A very unfortunate season for that, but they'll have the money, and I wouldn't be surprised if they could use that money effectively. They might surprise us all, but who knows. In 19th place, I've gone with Swansea. They've been in the Premier League for quite a few seasons now, and they have been the little bit of a what is going on with Swansea, how they always survive coming near to the end. Without Gylfi Sigurdsson, if he does go, it's going to be a close one if Swansea do go down, if they have Gylfi Sigurdsson or not. Gylfi Sigurdsson goes, I can't see them staying up. I don't know how they're staying up. But I think this will be the Swansea year where they do finally actually go down back to the Championship after all this time. In 18th, I've gone with our second place from last year promoted side, Brighton and Hove Albion. Once again, it's all about activity. I don't feel like the signings they brought in will really impact them and get them to a high enough place. I think Brighton and Huddersfield will really find the struggle with the Premier League this year. First year back for a very long time, it's going to be a very difficult one. And Premier League's not an easy league, gotta give them that. But the likes of Anthony Knocker and Glenn Murray even could poach some goals in to get them further. Matthew Ryan in goal they brought from Valencia instead of David Stockdale on that mistake of the final day goal. We'll remember that. But yeah, they're my bottom three: Brighton, Swansea, and Huddersfield from 17th to 11th. I'm going to say 11th because I know we're not in that section. 17th, I've gone with Watford, Marcus Silva's side. Again, I did have them in the bottom three, but they have made some very interesting signings. Andre Gray, Will Hughes, but it's what is going on with Watford. It's going to be, I think this season will really impact them. I don't think they'll go down, but I feel they'll be down in it. 16th, I've gone with Burnley. Now, it was a close tie between Burnley and Watford. Who goes where? I was thinking about putting Watford in 16th, I was. But I think Burnley are definitely a side who are like, you're selling your best players here. Andre Gray, Michael Keane, Tom Heaton go at the end of the day. Probably not, but they're not replacing with any players, and I feel like they will really fear the drop. It's going to be a very close one between that 16th and 18th spot. Always is. But I think the rest of the table from 15th onwards will have a little bit of a gap between those guys down at the bottom this year. 15th, I've gone with the other promoted side, Newcastle. Again, Rafa Benitez is bringing up a very good coach, he is. And he is bringing up a very strong Premier League standard side. Don't think they've made the required transfers to get even higher in the table, and I feel that will affect them and get them a reasonable 15th spot. I think they'll be happy with that, really. 14th, I've gone with Stoke. Again, not brilliant transfers this transfer window, losing Marko Arnautovic as well to West Ham. It's again Stoke, just one of those mid-table average teams, but I feel like they're starting to slip a bit. Really going to need to put in some really good transfers this season. Xherdan Shaqiri really going to have to step up this for the third season, I think, at Stoke. Going to have to do something there. 13th, I've gone with West Brom Albion. Again, West Brom, the plain average football under Tony Pulis. Again, they were in the top 10 for the majority of last season, really surprised a lot of people. But I feel like at the end of last season they really dropped off, and it's going to be one of those Tony Pulis miraculously takes West Brom into an average casual season in the Premier League. 12th place, we're going to go with Frank de Boer's Crystal Palace. Palace got a very strong side, and they are really, really threatening a lot of teams, I notice, really, with that team under Frank de Boer. I don't know how he will do at Crystal Palace, if he'll be able to maintain a good, steady start at the start of the season and finish. But the likes of Wilfried Zaha, Christian Benteke, Mandanda, I'm just trying to think of multiple players, Johan Gabai, all strong, capable, maybe top 10 players in a Crystal Palace side. It's going to be a very surprising season for Palace, and I feel like 12th place is where they'll fit. Now, this is where it's going to get all a bit controversial, because I'm doing very, very confusing little mix here. 11th place, I've gone with Southampton. I feel Southampton haven't done the required transfers. I'm going to be brutally honest here. Southampton are going to not do as well this season. They really didn't play up to my expectations, Southampton, last year. Normally getting around 60 points in that 60-point mark. Really pushing for Europa League. But it's just something what was under Claude Puel's side, really. Luckily, I have got a new manager. But then again, I don't feel they've really strengthened up their side. And if they lose Virgil van Dijk, which I'm pretty sure they will, it's going to be a long season for Southampton. I feel like we're to actually get 6 points against Southampton this year. 10th place, I've gone with Bournemouth. I feel like, again, we've brought in some excellent transfers. Jermaine Defoe, Nathan Ake, and Asmir Begovic. Don't know if Begovic will start on the first day. It's going to be a controversial one if he does. If Boric will be dropped out of the side. But I feel like we have got a side now capable of a top 10 finish, but top 10 and 10th place is all we'll get. 9th place, I'm going to go with West Ham. West Ham, a team, I predicted them 5th last year, so we're going to wipe that one off the table. 9th place, West Ham. Again, bringing in some very, very good transfer. Chicharito, Arnautovic, 2 key players. Will they get over their failures of last year in the Olympics? They're not going to be playing there at the start of the season due to the Olympic kind of things, track events. But West Ham 9th, 8th position. I'm going to go with Leicester. I feel like Leicester, again, under Craig Shakespeare, at the end of last season, really were clinical. Really bringing in the performances, really pushing up to try and get that top 10 to finish, which unfortunately I don't think they did. I think they were just on the outskirts of that. Actually, I might maybe on the 10th mark. But Leicester got a strong side, and I can't... Why couldn't they finish top 10? Why couldn't they finish in 8th place? Well, yeah, 8th place for West Ham. 7th place, this is where we're going to get into the big boys here. Everton. Everton really got one of those sides again. They've brought in some excellent transfers. Jordan Pickford. Oh, why do I keep doing this to myself? I can't even remember half of them. Jordan Pickford, a very strong one. Michael Keane, another one. Again, though, Lukaku has gone. Have they got the upfront qualities in store? I don't know. And that's why I don't feel like they'll really push into that top 6. 7th place finish will be where they'll get. Now, 6th place, I've gone with Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool. I feel like the top 4 and maybe Arsenal are a bit too strong this year. And yeah, 5th place, I've gone with Arsenal. Liverpool, I've gone with 6th because Coutinho, I don't know if he's going to... He said that he wants to move to Barca if he does move. But I feel like he'll have that in his head for a bit too long. And Liverpool are just one of those sides where they will have a very strong start. I really do think that. But then they'll bin it off at the end of the season. Teams around them will be around the same amount of points. And they'll pick up the points and Liverpool won't. 6th place. 5th place, Arsenal. I feel like this side is strong, but not strong enough for the top 4 and the teams in there. It's going to be a tough one. A tough, long season for Arsenal. And there will be a lot of frustration between the Arsenal fans. Lacazette, a very strong transfer, as well as Kolasinac. Absolutely great transfers. 5th place. 4th place, I've gone with Man United. Again, Man United, the struggle. They're bringing in a lot of high transfer players, high fee players. Lukaku. They brought in Pogba. They've got a very, very strong side, easily capable of the top 2 finish, but they never seem to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. 4th place. 3rd place, I've gone with Tottenham. The Wembley struggle will continue for Tottenham, and there has been a lot of outgoing transfers, but not a lot of ingoing transfers. With Kyle Walker going off to Man City for 50 million, absolutely incredible. And Danny Rose wants to leave Tottenham to either Chelsea or Man United. Very controversial that. Chelsea. Is he a snake to Tottenham? 3rd place. 2nd place, Chelsea. Chelsea, I don't think we'll be able to defend their title. I feel like there was a lot of struggle in that Arsenal game. Antonio Conte didn't look certain about his side. I think they brought in some average signings. Rudiger, I don't know how much he went there for, but I don't think he'll start. Alvaro Morata will be very, very interesting to see. Will he be able to put in the goals? Will Diego Costa leave? Chelsea 2nd place. Top of the table is going to be Man City. Definitely, 100%. Ederson coming in goal. Danilo at left back most likely. And Kyle Walker at right back. Really trying to find out that defensive line to really help keep these easy defensive games. Keep clean sheets. Guerrero up front. Gabriel Jesus. De Bruyne, David Silva, Sterling. Easy. Top of the table. There's my Premier League predictions. I've been Matt from Running Back TV. Premier League starts today, but Bournemouth play tomorrow. Match preview out later for the West Bromwich Albion game. I'm Matt from Running Back TV. If you want to watch more Bournemouth content, subscribe down to the channel, and I'm out.